Yeah,
And so
we have
you
Jenny on
are,
too.
I'm super excited. And what I'm going to do is, yep, we have a lot of people on the stage. I'm super excited, Jessie. Thank you for everyone that's about to be here. Um, did you guys all get the email this morning? Hopefully you guys did. We got a wrap up call. Let's see here. I'm going to mod all of our CEOs for the morning. Really excited. Jessie, let's see. And we're going to go ahead and ping some people. Welcome, everyone. I'm Vanessa Noble with Lab Coat Agents. Very excited to be here. As you guys may or may not know, I'm one of Tristan's partners. And today is such an exciting room. All of these CEOs from the various systems, Jessie with CallAction, and we have Ylopo, and we have Follow Up Boss, and we have Jenny Wemert. So we're really excited to facilitate this conversation about systems and processes and how they really revolutionize and change the real estate industry. So we are going to take a moment to ping all of our real estate colleagues and partners, because we definitely want to make sure that anyone who's available doesn't miss the quality of this conversation. So I'm really excited. You guys, welcome. And I would love, Jessie, you're on your mic. Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Oh, Jenny, are you there?
I'm here. How are you today?
Hello, Jenny.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Awesome. Great. Good. Just I'm getting the red bar of poor connection, so I might move to another space. Jenny, Gabe, Dan.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead and start with the bio, and hopefully Jessie. Yep, Jessie's back. No. Go ahead and get started. Give us a brief bio of your system, your experience in real estate, and then we can go from there, and then we'll get the room started with the questions.
Sounds good. So everyone, my name is Jessie Beaudoin, founder of CallAction.co. Been around real estate for a little while, about 35 years or so. And basically, we just help automate the outbound task of follow-up to create inbound conversations and increase your lead conversion.
Love it. So explain that a little bit in layman's terms. So for a brand new realtor, how will they benefit from this?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So ultimately what we do is we take your incoming leads, whether they're a call or a text or an email, and we can apply some automations. We're built directly inside of Follow Up Boss as an embedded app, and you can assign some text drip campaigns that can include some voicemails or some ringless voicemails, image text, GIFs, so on and so forth, to kind of create automated authentic automation that feels like you're doing the follow-up, and that generates basically responses. And the primary reason why is, if we think about it, like if you generate a new lead, on average, it's going to take 8 to 10 follow-up attempts to get a hold of that particular person. And that's a lot of time that's invested. And what we're trying to do is just give you back that time so that you can spend time in quality conversations with the people who are ready and responding.
Fantastic. Yes. For those agents in the room, you guys know how painful that can be, or worse, how painful it is when, you just maybe didn't feel like you were going to follow up soon enough. And then that person goes with another agent. So painful. So Jessie, that's amazing. I'm really excited to get more into the granular stuff about that system. Thank you so much for being here. Jenny, how are you, love? I would love to hear, about your organization, your company, and what you are excited to talk about today on the platform.
Sure. I'm super happy to be here and 100% intimidated by this huge panel. It's so awesome to
No.
I love it. So much to learn from. But I run what I call a Team Ridge in Orlando, Florida. I've been licensed 22 years, and have slowly built a team over the 22 years up to 72 people now. We're tracking to sell over 1,000 homes this year for over 300 million. And we were just announced today as the 19th in the country for Real Trends teams for volume. So super proud of that. Never thought I would ever say that in my life. So
Oh, that's
here we are. Yeah,
incredible.
super proud.
Jenny, that's amazing. I mean,
Thank you.
intimidated. Sheesh. Come on, hardly. That is incredible. That is
Appreciate it.
so cool. Very excited to have you here. And and obviously as all agents at all different levels, what we're looking at is, how can we scale our business? And, not everybody will say that they want to sell that many homes or want to create that. But what I will love to hear and ask of you later is, what kind of leverage has that brought in your life? What bigger dreams or bigger lives are you creating that you've cultivated a culture that attracts that many agents so that you guys can do that many deals? And just maybe some of the pitfalls. So be prepared to kind of think about some of that stuff.
Sure.
Gabe.
Be happy to share.
Yeah, thank you so much. Sorry, guys. I am in the process of moving. I don't know who got to my house right now, but Gabe, go ahead and let us know who you are and what you're going to be talking about.
Hey, thanks, Vanessa. Yeah, Gabe Cordova here, Senior Realtor in Residence at Ylopo, and then also one of the founders, CEO over at Core Group. We have a team that we've been running in Boise for like 15 years now. We're just starting to spin one up in Denver. So, started, like I said, 15 years ago, kind of doing online lead generation, building a database without really knowing I was doing online lead generation with Craigslist when it was kind of the cool thing. But yeah, quickly built my team. And when we got to where our tools weren't working for us, I was one of the co-founders and started up the CRM Firepoint. Then I spent the last 4 years as a president of that company until we merged with RealVolve. So now that I've stepped back out of the technology world as the president, back in running our teams in Boise and Denver, and started working with Ylopo this year as their senior realtor in residence. So excited about coming at this just really from an experience of lead generation, building databases, but then tying in technology that's really allowing the agents to work smarter, not harder. And really the big focus right now is how do we just focus on activity and low-hanging fruit and let our tools, excuse me, and our tech stack do a lot of the nurturing and hand-holding for the people that really aren't worth our time. And I don't want to say that and sound like an asshole, but it's, when people aren't ready and they need just to be warmed up and incubated, that's what our tools, our technology is for. Once they're talking, doing things, that's when we focus on them. And that's how, when we bring in, our tools like Ylopo, Follow Up Boss and all that, that's what's triggering, telling us where to focus our time. So we're just more efficient, especially in a market like that right now where we're spending more time with buyers. How are we more efficient with our time to get the most out of it?
Sorry, guys, couldn't get to my mic fast enough. But Gabe, absolutely. Ylopo has been one of probably the fastest growing technology that we have seen in, even in LCA. For those of you guys in the room that are not familiar with Lab Code Agents, Lab Code Agents really does, vet, try all the top systems and platforms. And Ylopo has been super impressive at just bringing quality leads to realtors and really leveraging a lot of the AI and the systems to nurture the cold market, because all of us have the databases, the warm market, the Met database that we have very strong maybe referral and businesses. But as you want to scale and grow, we have to increase the number of people that we know. And Ylopo has been so impressive at helping realtors cultivate those, leverage technology to cultivate those relationships to grow the people who you would otherwise not know in your market. So,
Yeah, and
proud.
Vanessa, I want to add on to that really quick. I think
Yeah.
it's spot on. But the biggest thing that we're seeing, and I think sometimes people don't realize with it. So when we went all in with Ylopo and Follow Up Boss earlier this year, and with the database of online lead gen that we've been doing, like I said, for 15 years, we have about 60,000 people in our database. So once we came in, it wasn't just about generating new leads, which we're definitely doing and filling that pipeline, but it's how do we get the most out of who we already have in our databases as well. And it's like pennies on the dollar now to have the remarketing, retargeting, the AI, all the scripts that have been written by actual agents and team leads, nurturing them and getting them reactivated and raising their hand. So we're not just chasing new opportunities, but we're nurturing and getting the most out of our existing. So, only a few months in, going literally all in, the majority of our business right now are people who have been in our database for years, who have seen our brand, know, maybe not trust us yet, but they're learning to because we're in front of them. They're raising their hand. And we're getting those deals immediately while we're building the pipeline for feeding the funnel with the new lead generation. So I think that's a big key, and we're talking about what's next on this with CEOs. We definitely have to be filling the top of the funnel with new lead generation, especially sellers, and having an entire suite of tools to do that. But it's also getting the most of who you already have and automating a lot of that. So you just have to be ready when they raise their hand, ask a question, and you're not always just paying for new. You're getting everything you can out of your existing database, coming back a second, third time, or a first if it was somebody you never created in the past. So that's a key thing that we need to know going into the future. How do I not just fill top of funnel, but how do I get the most out of what's in my existing database?
Absolutely, absolutely. So much value. Because as you guys probably know, being a realtor, it's like you are constantly juggling a million hats. And every time, it's like once you have one area of your business taken care of, there's a new opportunity that you're trying to grow, cultivate, stabilize, and leverage in your business. And so these systems are just so valuable. And speaking of which, I want to just do a quick room reset. For those of you guys that are in the room, please follow our Lab Coat Agents Clubhouse. It is the house above my profile. Go ahead and add that. And as you can see, that Lab Coat Agents, I mean, we've brought some of the industry's most amazing system CEOs that really just add so much value to our businesses. So if you guys can do us a favor and go ahead and ping as many real estate professionals the way that I did, and I already got the red banner of death because I pinged too many people. But you guys can press the plus sign. You can use the Clubhouse algorithm that it allows you to search keywords. So usually what I do is I'll just search realtor. I go ahead and I add the moderators on the stage as they begin to have conversations on Clubhouse or continue to have conversations on Clubhouse. You'll get to hear how their systems really do add so much of them to improve yours. So really excited to have all you guys here and this the technology that we use to give better service to our clients and give the realtor more time back. So I'm really excited to hear from you guys. And Dan, excited to have you. I would love to hear a little bit of follow-up boss. Gosh, it's such a cornerstone in this industry, and it's the one that I recommend to all of my team and all new realtors that come under my mentorship. So I'm really excited for you to talk about follow-up boss and just share with the audience kind of who you are and your system and how it adds value. And I know that Ylopo, Dan, nice to meet you and excited for you to share with the audience.
Yeah, thanks, Vanessa. Super excited to be here. Thanks for modding and the recommendations. So my name's Dan Corkill. I'm the CEO and one of the co-founders of Follow Up Boss. We got started about 10 years ago, and we just really came into the space and saw there wasn't a lot of great tools really for teams or for like online lead conversion. And, there was some of these all-in-one systems, but I guess the sort of philosophy we always took was like, look, markets are going to change, marketing sources are going to change, and you really need something that just is going to work with everything and is going to adapt as your business adapts. And so, we just spent the last 10 years trying to refine the system and keep up with, all of our great clients. A lot of them I see in the audience and like Jenny and now Gabe's team. So we just had a lot of people really grow their businesses on the platform. And that's been exciting for us to see because, yeah, that's what we're really here to do, like help our clients grow and, be successful in their real estate business.
And Dan, our business, I mean, you guys are our absolute backbone to our business. We wouldn't have a business without you. So we appreciate all the efforts that you guys put into the agents that you serve.
Yeah, and I think Dan was a little modest there as well. I'm going to chime in. As you're listening to this and you're exploring technology, and again, as a co-founder and started one and ran it as a president for several years, your technology has to be advancing and integrating, right? So one thing that I've seen with Follow Up Boss has been incredible is how they're integrating with companies like Ylopo and Conversion Monster, you just name it. They're integrating out there so that your agents, you're living for the most part in one place. And then you're able to customize all of the data. And I mentioned it earlier when I was talking, we have to focus from chasing leads to just focusing on activity, inbound activity. And what I love that they're doing, and I'm sure Jenny, you've seen the same thing, is we're able to customize these lists that go to work for us, analyzing data and packaging it. So now I just have a step-by-step list for my agents every day to come in to make sure they're not missing anything. And it literally just focuses on that activity. So that they're absolutely crushing it from that standpoint.
100%. As one of the companies that has built out an embedded app inside of Follow Up Boss, the entire Follow Up Boss team is so open-minded and proactive about integrations, which is critical basically moving forward. So that way the system of record maintains that status, and Follow Up Boss maintains that status as the system of records as you kind of plug and play all of your other sources. So definitely a great job there. And Dan, awesome job as always.
Yeah, thanks, guys. You're making me blush over here. Yeah, I'm excited to chat with you all about what's next because I think everyone here probably has a bit of a unique perspective. And, I'm just a dumb kid from Australia. So I'm kind of curious to hear what Howard has to say. And they've been great partners in Ylopo and, basically taking on all the lead gen and retargeting and this kind of technology, which really works well together with Follow Up Boss. How would you do that?
Hey guys, how's it going? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Awesome. So my name is Howard Tager, and I guess I'm just a serial entrepreneur / CEO. Since 2 years out of college, I have basically worked for myself. I think because I came to the early realization that if I worked for someone else, they would fire me. So I didn't really have a choice. But I have started 3 companies from my dining room table since then. Really proud of that fact. And I've been in the real estate technology space, real estate marketing technology space since the beginning of 2007. So almost 15 years at this point, and have had the pleasure of working with everyone that's on this stage. Currently work with Gabe over at Ylopo. And again, I'm the founder and CEO of Ylopo. Have worked super closely with Dan really since the start of our company, because we kind of took Dan and I share the same philosophy, but we just took different parts of the technology stack. So the shared philosophy is, and I was, I was part of the original founding group of a company called TigerLead, which was, we always say, the OG, the original gangster of the all-in-one system. The reason we started an all-in-one system, and what does that mean, the all-in-one system? That means it's a company that does your marketing. It sets up your website, your IDX home search experience. It's the place where they get buyers and sellers coming through. They do the marketing, and then it goes into a hyper-focused CRM that was built to capture these leads that are being generated. So it's kind of this all-in-one system. And it was needed. It was very much needed in 2007 when we started TigerLead, because the only CRM at the time of note was Top Producer, which is, really more of a kind of lifetime, stay in front of your, relationships for a lifetime, but it was not ever built as a sales cycle CRM. It didn't have the visibility and the tooling that you needed to really go out and work with and close new buyers and sellers and really capitalize on new opportunities. So we didn't have a choice, and we had to go build our own CRM. But that was, like I said, like a decade and a half ago. And when we came back into the space as Ylopo, G, my co-founder, and I sort of, we arm wrestled over it, and we said, look, we think the future is not having to focus on everything. You know, to be all things to all people, I believe is a failed mission. I believe you need to focus on what you do well. And that's, you know, Dan and I have that shared philosophy. And I think Jessie has that shared philosophy as well. Like Jessie focuses on his particular part of the marketing technology stack that he knows really well, that they do better than anyone else in the industry. The telephony part, the exactly what the name of his company is, that call to action, right? And thinking about all things that relate to that immediate response and communication with consumers. Dan only focuses on that customer relationship management tool, being the absolute best of breed at providing that tool. But he was smart enough to make sure that it was really open-ended and can integrate with whatever you guys are using for your digital marketing. We just focus on the digital marketing. We don't have to worry about what are now the CRM, you know, wars that are going on, right? There's so many CRMs. We focus on what we do well, which is real estate, buyer and seller, and we're leaning really heavily into sellers now, lead generation, lead nurture, which means bringing those opportunities back. So if you develop a initial relationship with a seller or a seller lead, bringing them back, creating the nurture tools that they want to come back to. And then lead communications, the third thing we do, where we have an AI digital ISA. So you don't have to go out and spend $4 to $5 grand a month on an actual person ISA. For a couple $100 a month, you can have a 24/7 ISA who can text, you know, 50,000 people concurrently. So lead gen, lead nurture, lead communication, and then branded advertising. So we're trying to equip our clients with basically digital, you know, billboards, radio, TV, which is so much less expensive on digital, and give our clients all of the tooling to support our ultimate mission, which is to equip all of our clients with literally millions of dollars of marketing technology that they can't build on their own, enabling our clients to not only compete with the Zillows of the world, right, but to kick their ass in their local markets, right? Because, you know, the Zillows of the world, all the multi-billion-dollar public companies have to worry about the whole country. But my clients are hyper local. They are concerned about gaining market share and doing more deals, more buyers, more sellers in their market, and we can give them the tooling to do so. So I love being on that mission of being in a partnership with our agents, teams, and independent brokers to give them the tooling that they don't have, so they can crush the competition.
Hey, Howard, that is so spot on. And I spent some time with Tom Ferry this week, and he shared a stat that was staggering to me. And that was when he said 50% of the deals in the next 3 years you will be paying at least a 42% referral fee on, because the lead aggregators are the ones who are winning in this market, right? So if we want to be, you know, getting ahead of that stat or stay in control and defend our position, we need, you know, products like yours to help us maintain our database and communicate and nurture and keep those leads to ourselves, and not have to go pay 42% of our commissions to get these leads from these lead aggregators.
That's exactly right. So, you know, if you go back and do a Google search, history and time, right, go back to, I don't know, 2014 or something, you know, you're going to just see a series of, basically, in my opinion, sorry to be controversial, lies, right, where, you know, a big company said, we will not become brokerages. We will not become brokerages. We will not become brokerages. They said that because they knew they needed the data. The data is the listing data. And if they didn't get the data, they couldn't get the consumers. If you get the data, you can get the consumers. If you own the relationship with the consumers, you now can own the relationship with the real estate agents. And as Rich Barton himself said, you kept feeding the baby elephant, you kept feeding the baby elephant, you kept feeding the baby elephant, and you can't get us out of the room now, right? The elephant's too big. So now they're always going to have the data. You can't take the data away. They'll always have it. And there's other big companies coming in as well that are going to do the same thing, right? Get the data. They're going to spend massive amounts at that top level, national level down. We haven't seen the last of it. And they can go take market share. And you've got a lot of these big portals who, exactly as you said, Jenny, there's no ceiling on what they can charge eventually for referral fees. And when they're taking your referral fees, they have their hands in your pockets, and basically they are a brokerage. We don't do that. We never do that. We charge a set price. We charge up front. You know it. You can actually build a predictable business model around it. And look, I'm not here to sell Ylopo or tout Ylopo. Like there's a lot of companies like ours that do digital marketing who are not going to do, commission splits or referral fees, right? And so, again, you can build a predictable business based on that, where you can't really do that with the large publicly traded companies. And they're not evil. I don't want to paint them as like evil empires. They're doing what's right for their shareholders. They're publicly traded companies that have shareholders, right? So if you're an investor with them, you want them you want that stock price to go up. Well, guess what? For that stock price to go up, they want to control the relationship with the consumer. They're going to continue to increase their referral fees. They're going to take control over more ancillary revenues, mortgage, title, escrow, all of that. That's their plan. So I'm telling you now, I told people, 7 years ago, and I'm telling you now, that is going to continue to be the playbook, and we have to arm ourselves against it.
If I can chime in here, one of the things that I think is important is what these companies are doing is putting the consumer first, giving them information and trying to develop a relationship through basically information and data. And at the end of the day, real estate is a relationship business. And we need to have relationships with customers. And that's why having a powerful CRM to manage those relationships is going to be key. The entire buyer journey, we know, is not an overnight thing. It's anywhere between 3 months to 18 months out. So the future of our real estate game is about being able to out nurture the portals and provide enough value to develop real relationships so that we're top of mind with the customers, so that when they have questions, instead of going to the internet to ask that question and become somebody else's lead, that they are coming back to us, the person who first provided value, established the relationship, and gave them the map or the guidance on achieving their goal, which eventually is home ownership. So we just have to take that back and continue to focus on being top of mind and delivering value. And that way, the local game is always going to be won by us, the real estate agent, as long as we put developing relationships first versus basically just trying to step back and not be involved at all.
I think that's huge. I mean, and let's face it, we all know the consumer has pains on those sites, right? I mean, they're exhausted of seeing incorrect data. They're exhausted when they have a question, being sent to multiple people and their phones blow up, right? So I think you hit it spot on. Use these tools and technology to do that long-term nurture, keep your brand in front of them, stay in front of them, automate a lot of this, through Follow Up Boss or CallAction or whatever it is. And stay in front of them while you're also solving a pain. They don't want to be bothered by multiple people who are asking the same questions over and over. So we're offering a solution to a pain that they have. We just have to recognize that pain is there and then have the tech stack to be able to back it up and provide the services. So focused on them for the long haul.
Hey guys, I think I'm back. That was that. There's nothing like having to host a room and then Clubhouse telling you their servers are struggling and you can't get in. That was crazy. I don't think I have my red bar anymore. How are you guys doing? Okay, you guys have been holding down the room. I'm so relieved. Thank you. How are you guys? Okay. And Gabe, I caught the conversation that you were having about that tech stack. I would say, and for the minute that I was out, it sounded like you and Jessie and Dan were collaborating on how you guys integrate your systems together. Can you guys tell for the realtor, how do you feel like if you had to create the trifecta of really being efficient? Because I'll be honest with you, tech is probably the most painful part of my business. And Jenny, I would love to hear you talk about that after they kind of tell the room about their pieces of business. Because, the realtor has the front end website, right? Their IDX. The realtor has their back end transaction management. They have their listing coordination, the database, they have the cultivation of new leads. They have have the nurturing system for their database. They have the follow-up plan that they have to also do. And then like you haven't even opened a door yet, right? You haven't even gone to an appointment yet. And that, so the whole tech front, and even right now, like I die on my listing coordination. That in itself is painful because there really isn't a really good system like that. That really manages it, that you don't have to do all the redundancies and duplicating the data entry for the client information, right? So Jessie, Gabe, Dan, and Howard, I would love to hear you guys talk about how you guys have made your systems connect with each other to solve some of those problems. And then Jenny, having such a huge business with tons of team members and a lot of clientele and nurture systems that you have to implement even to scale a business to that level, maybe how you've leaned on technology and maybe holes in technology that you've had to band-aid in your business. So there's some topics.
Yeah, sure. I'll start off on this. So one of the things that we do over at CallAction is, we believe that the relationship and having conversations with customers is most important. So one of the simple things that we've done is one of the biggest time wasters, as you mentioned, Aaron, is duplicate data entry or no data entry at all. So some of the simple things that we do is we provide custom phone numbers for all of your marketing pieces so that way you can actually track the incoming calls. And through our integration, we're creating those contacts directly into the CRM so that we're eliminating data entry and getting an accurate picture of where those lead flows are coming from. Because if you don't keep score at a game, how do you know who won? So if you kind of think of that analogy to your business, if you're not tracking where the calls and the texts and the emails are coming from in your business, how do you know where to double down on your investments and prune the stuff that's not working? So that's one of the real simple integrations that we've started off with. We've been doing that for years at this point, and trying to save the agent time and keeping you focused on the thing that is your highest dollar productivity activity, which is having conversations with the right people at the right time and automating anything that is tedious and repetitive, because that's what automation is actually good for.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, Gabe.
Yeah, I was just going to piggyback on that. That's what it really comes down to. So you're talking about, the tech stack and just how they play together. And I'm probably I think I'm actually the only realtor in residence of Ylopo right now that's not currently using CallAction. So Jessie, you and I need to talk quickly because I'm seeing what they're doing on the automation side, and it's incredible. So we need to chat. But it is exactly what he said. It's focusing and using them to automate the non-dollar productive activities. Right? What are you doing that's bogging you down? That's literally not talking to prospects, showing property, writing contracts, negotiating contracts, and closing deals. That's all you need to be doing. So, when you're pairing Ylopo, so we're using Ylopo for our front-facing website, really anything consumer-facing, our websites, our lead generation, our branding, our remarketing, our dynamic video ads that are going out. All of that comes through Ylopo, and then it's generating activity, right? Whether that's a new lead, or it's a hand raiser, or it's a question, or just engaging somebody back that hasn't been on your website in weeks or months or even years if you're doing this properly. It's gathering all that information and then in real time passing it through to your CRM, which for us is Follow Up Boss. And so now you're building in your CRM literally these smart lists that are just saying, okay, who is it that currently has their hand in the air, so we can make sure that they've been called on, that we got them in the right spot. All right, who is now the most active people, saving the most amount of homes or viewing the most amount of homes right now? Who's actively talking to the AI assistant that also is through Ylopo, that's out there engaging people, asking questions, setting appointments, feeding it back into the CRM, so I can now, with one click of a button, in real time see who is the most recent person that responded, then the next person, then the next person, and look for holes in our follow-up. So what we've really done is, because of the tech stack, from the front-facing website and the CRM, all the agents have to do right now is focus on inbound activity. Right? We're really taking a lot of the outbound activity off of their plate because we can automate so much of that, which the agents, let's be honest, don't want to do. And if we're really being honest, they're not doing it. So let's take it off their plate and just let them focus on the service aspect of this, right? They're not having to necessarily cold call or hard sell to set appointments, because when there's inbound activity, you can reach out, offer something of service, of value. You're not trying to be a hardcore salesperson, and everybody's happier, right? So it's just really, how are you fine tuning that to make everybody happy and do what they're best at? Most agents didn't get into this business to be able or want to have to just circle prospect or just cold call. And I'm not saying that that doesn't work, but it's not why most agents got into the business. You know, friendly, fun-loving, charismatic people who want to help and provide service. And when your tech stack and your tools are allowing you to literally focus on inbound activity, that's exactly what you're doing. So I just evaluate what you're currently using and just make sure, is it teeing me up for success and allowing me to focus on inbound activity, which is my highest and best use.
Awesome. Absolutely. And Jenny, I would love to hear from you a bit about how you've leveraged systems and technology in your business. Maybe some great ways that these, if you've used these companies, how you have integrated them, and some experiential, insights, and anything else that you would like to share about how you've scaled your business. And I mean, it's really important for people to understand, for those that are new to the room, how you did scale your business using technology to have a team of 72 closing 1,000 sides in Orlando. Super incredible. There's so many facets of the business that need to be strong to get to that, that leveraged place. So I would love to hear from you on that front.
Sure, no problem. That'll take me an hour, but I'm just kidding. So I guess it's important to note that, we have slowly built our team with, based on everyone's strengths. And I have kept, we retain the majority of our agents, and we have continued to grow just one person, one talent at a time. And so as we've grown, we've adopted some, in hindsight, we can see, leverage points and pivot points that were important to us. And a couple of experiences we've learned over the years is that agents really can only handle like 3 or 4 A buyers at a time. Like, hair on fire, we're going to be homeless tomorrow if we don't buy a home. They can really only manage 3 to 4 at a time, stay focused, hunt for the properties, negotiate, and provide that expert level of service. What we've also learned is in our world, our agents, like, after being with our team for 3 years, they stay there, they start on our marketing systems and our machine and our leads, and then they slowly fill their pipeline and they focus on their database and their past clients. And after being with us for 3 years, they should be at 50% repeat referral business. So I share those two stats with you because what we're experiencing right now is a lot of noise, because we are a rainmaking team. We're not a prospecting team. We have never been a prospecting team. We are a rainmaker team. We are experts at marketing and, generating leads from, I don't know, I think we closed through 34 different sources last year. It can get really noisy because you've got portals and leads flying in, and it just becomes really just overwhelming. And what ends up happening is, if you start chasing around your experienced agents who have a very strong database driven business, and you're like trying to crack the whip on them to answer the call and get on those leads and follow up and nurture, you're going to create a culture that is going to have them want to leave. And that's, we kind of found ourselves this year through COVID, like, just really buckling down these leads and paying it and thanks to like Ylopo and CallAction, all of our systems that we use, we can see these numbers so clearly right now. We can see how much we're leaving on the table, how many leads are we generating, where are they all coming from, and it just starts to get really overwhelming. You're like, oh my gosh, we have to call all these people, and you can't do it with just people. You have to have the technology behind it. So what I love is that Gabe pointed out that we should be focused on the inbound piece, and nurture and all the outbound should be handled with tech. And if they can resurrect something and bring it back to the top for our agents that are on leads or need leads that they can plug into, great. But we need to be really focused on those relationships and taking those great leads that we're getting on the inbound, turning those into clients and staying focused on them and not diverting our agents' attention, away to chase more leads or hoard more opportunity when they have exactly what they need. And then what we found is that we are actually short a lot of agents, because if we stay with that philosophy that our agents only need to be working with 3 or 4 at a time to, really achieve a high level of success in this industry, um, and we stop giving them all of these leads so they can, and stop letting them slip through the cracks, we probably need about 20 more agents just to handle what we have on the table right now. But until you really get a handle on your numbers and understand where your leads are coming from and where are your premium leads and where should the time be spent and most of your effort, you probably are leaving a lot on the table. So that was a mixed match of what, like a history and our team and our philosophies. But if we didn't have a follow-up boss as our backbone with CallAction and the text plans and custom numbers and Ylopo retargeting with the mousetrap of listings, we would be feeling like we're underwater, sinking under all of these opportunities. So we have to have all of this automation in place.
I can.
Absolutely. Go
I
ahead,
was gonna.
guys. Go ahead.
I was going to chime in on that. One of the things that I would tell you on this is if we stop thinking of it as a funnel, but you start thinking of it as an hourglass. The top of the funnel is your lead sources. And so leads are nothing more than inquiries. They're people that have questions. And so what happens, we need to have in-depth conversations, and that's going to be that middle part of the funnel, or what we call the research stage. At the bottom of that funnel, some people are going to come out as sales. And everyone that has entered the top of that funnel gets deposited into the bottom of the hourglass. The bottom of that hourglass is the CRM. It is the client relationship manager. It is follow-up boss. And it's all of these other systems that are then working together to try and continue those relationships. Because if we take inquiries, i.e. leads, people that have questions, and we have conversations with them and provide them value, and some of those people will be immediate and they'll come out of the bottom of the funnel and be deposited into your CRM as a past customer. All of those leads all get deposited as basically your new sphere of influence. So if you take the time to nurture every single conversation and provide value, the bottom of your hourglass, which is filled with your lead generation efforts at the top, all get filled with basically your sphere of influence and your past clients, which then basically feed your lead flow at the top of the funnel or at the top of the hourglass with referral-based business, which is exactly what Jenny is talking about. And that's why her team is going to do 1,000 sides. So hopefully that helps.
You said that much better than I did, Jessie. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I know we don't have a back end system on like an actual like post transaction, but we'll definitely make sure to talk about that later, just for the sake of the value in the room, in the audience. And I want to open up some questions. And Howard, I want to give you an opportunity maybe to share something that the other guys haven't covered, or whatever you felt like you want to contribute to what you've heard so far today as well.
Sure. Our clients are people that want to run real businesses. And, what I mean by that is, a lot of folks are just focused on the short term, the near term. And really the portals, really trained people in bad habits. Like, hey, someone's filling out a lead form on Zillow or Realtor.com, and they think they're going to talk to the listing agent, but they're selling it 3 ways to Sunday to buyer agents. and they go see homes, and it was great. Like out of the gate, it was amazing. But now it's crazy expensive. They want commission splits. The leads are sold, like I said, 10 ways to Sunday, and it's just not a sustainable business model. So what I'm always going to lecture people on is, like, you want to eat today, you want to eat for a lifetime. I have built and grown 3 super successful companies, and I have not paid myself a dime for like 2 years at the beginning of every one of those companies, because I'm investing back in the company. And eventually it's a massive ROI. It's a massive return. And it's amazing to me that people don't want to make that investment in their own business. Jenny has done that. Jenny is the epitome of someone, excuse me, who thinks long-term, who invests in her business. She knew she wasn't going to do 1,000 sides overnight, but she had a roadmap. She invested in the right technology. She has Ylopo and Follow Up Boss, right? So she has the expert, CRM system, the best tooling out there. She has the expert lead generation, lead nurture, lead communication system that talks seamlessly together. And she's investing in it over time, and her database keeps growing. Her database keeps growing. Don't think about a lead as something that you have to close today. Think about, we now have the technology where you're just building your database of relationships, and it gets bigger, 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 bigger. What happens if I told you that you can bring back 15% of your database every single month, right? And then another 10% of that 15% are going to be people that are going to raise their hand and want you to list their home or take them to see homes. Those are the stats, right? So if you only have 1,000 people in your database of relationships, well, those aren't really big numbers. But if you have 100,000 people in your database and you're bringing back 15% every month, that's 15,000 actual buyers and sellers coming back to your site, not to some big portal site, but to your branded home search experience, home valuation experience built for you every single month. And then 10% of those people are ready to go out, right? Like ready to go out right now. You just need agents. That's Jenny's biggest problem. She's invested in her systems. She's built her database. She's out of agents because she has so many opportunities. The last thing, because Vanessa, you brought it up as a question, we haven't really talked about it. Both Dan and I have built for integration. We have built for integration. I have literally invested millions of dollars in integration technology. So if you come to me and you're on Follow Up Boss, hallelujah. If you come to me and you're on Chime, or you're on Sierra, or you're on Firepoint, or whatever you're on, hallelujah. Like, we're not going to push you out of a CRM. It also gives you freedom. Let's say you're on this webinar, you're on a CRM, you're using Ylopo, but you're like, oh my God, this guy Dan he's just so handsome. I got to go work with Dan. And so you want to switch CRMs. Dan, are you blinking? You're not blinking on that one. So you want to go work with Dan, right? Well, great. You can switch CRMs midstream, and you're not going to screw up your Ylopo relationship. Let's say you're already working with Dan. You're always going to be with Follow Up Boss forever, but you're like, I don't really want this Ylopo thing anymore. There's a shiny new object. I'm going to try those guys. Okay. Well, you can kick us to the curb. You're not going to lose your thing with Dan. So guys, forget the all-in-ones. I built the original all-in-one. Forget about it. It's 15 years old. You want to assert your independence and your freedom. Have the best of breed CRM. Have the best of breed lead gen. Don't be a prisoner to any one all-in-one system. And if there's something else that comes out, like some great transaction management tool, some incredible team reporting tool, we're going to make sure that our systems integrate with that, so that you're not trapped as a prisoner into an all-in-one system. So Vanessa, I heard you ask that question early. No one directly commented on that, but I wanted to talk about how important it is to have best of breed systems now that don't purport to do everything. They do what they do really, really well. And it's how I run my own business. I have a best of breed financial accounting system. I have a best of breed help desk system. I have a best of breed CRM. We do that in our own world. That's how real businesses are run. And again, invest. Think about, where are you in 3 years? Where are you in 5 years? If you build that database from 1,000 to 100,000, you can live off that database forever. You have built an asset with value that goes just beyond you. You're just going to need great agents to work with all the opportunities, because you don't know when a person is ready to move on something. It could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be 2 years. I love when a client texts me and they're like, Jenny texts me, like, oh my God, Howard, we just closed this lead that you generated 3 years ago, and they just bought $1 million house. Like, that's awesome, right? Because the technology is built now where we always stay in front of them. All you got to do is build your database. So Vanessa, I hope that helps.
Absolutely. And it's so funny because, to be honest, like when you guys talk systems and technology, like I feel it in my soul, like because it hurts so much. Like I die on systems, and real estate is so consuming. I always tell every realtor that I talk to is real estate is hard if you suck, and real estate is hard if you're good. So you pick your suck, right? Because it is so consuming, and these systems are really what make your life like manageable, doable, sustainable, the business to grow to the point of leverage. Because I mean, I joke that sometimes it feels like as a realtor, I'm more on call than a labor and delivery doctor to some people, right? Everyone is so demanding of our time. And the weird thing about realtors, and for those in the room, is that if the systems are not automated, if there's not redundancies, and if it's not easy, a realtor won't use it because they're going a mile a minute, they're juggling a bazillion things. They're trying not to have ADHD when it's like plaguing them because there's just a lot of things to manage. And like to your point when you talked about Jenny being a master of that, it is so important that and I love that you talked about this, Howard, is that as you're building your business, whenever I talk to a brand new agent, if they can hit $100,000 or maybe a little shy of that their first year, their second year, and into their third year, it's like you're actually just building the salaries, the capital for a it's not like a job where everything is managed and you're just going to ride on the back of somebody else that owns a business. As a realtor developing a business, it's really it dies on the fact that you have to build the capital to grow a business. And so as a brand new agent, your first year, second year, third year, even I'd argue up to your fifth year, if you're trending scaling, that you're really saving the capital and not living on your income at all. And so it's such a difference when you switch your mindset to that, so that you really are frugal with your living. And unfortunately, realtors start winning and the first thing they go do is increase their lifestyle, right? And instead of investing in their business, whether it's through leveraging people and salaries, or investing in systems that are going to really automate their business and then take it to the next level so that they can cultivate more leads, bring more value to other realtors, build teams, and so forth. So all really important like points, and I wanted to translate that into realtor pain language so that they understand why these systems are so important.
I mean, that's true. I mean, if you really want to build wealth, right? Are you being leveraged? Ask yourself this question right now. Are you being leveraged, or are you leveraging others? Jenny, super successful. Gabe, incredibly successful. Guess what? They're leveraging others, right? And think about a lawyer, right? You could be a one-off attorney, and that's it. You're only ever going to make what you can bill. That's it. But think about the partner of the 1,000-lawyer law firm. They're making money every single hour from 999 other attorneys, right? And so you have to invest in systems, in people, in technology, in marketing, all of that to get to that point. You have to leverage others. Think about that word. Think about where are you at. These portals, they're leveraging you, right? They've figured out, think about it. They figured out how to become a brokerage without any of the operational headaches of being a brokerage, because you don't even hang your license with them, but they're taking whatever they're going to take, 35% of your commission, right? But they don't have to manage you. They don't have to give you insurance. They don't have to worry about any of it. They're leveraging you, right? Because they control the consumer. You need to wrestle back, control the consumer, and now you can recruit on that. You can bring people in because you're the one that's invested, and you can say, I've got, like Jenny is like saying, I've got so many opportunities for you people. Please come join me, right? We have the best systems. We have the best coaching. We have the best leadership. Come join us because you're not getting it elsewhere. And she is successfully leveraging other people.
100%. I love, love, love that. And sometimes when we say the word leverage, it's funny because we use that a lot when we're talking about businesses and systems. And sometimes people, especially when we're talking about leveraging humans, they get a little touchy when you talk about you refer to them as leverage. So and for those that are team builders, what I love to to translate that word because it's just semantics, but it's the opportunity that we are creating to build the business and the livelihood of other people on the backs of the people that I got a call on the backs of the people that, are positioning themselves to to take the shorter income. Real estate is one of the fewest industries that you go up in leadership and you go down in gross revenue when you just start to add an extra mouth to feed, right? And people don't realize that you oh dang it. Sorry, another call, but that you don't realize that, unless you're really willing to grow in leadership and leverage systems to create more opportunities for our team members and the people, and to do all the different roles in a real estate business so that you can grow a business together, right? And everyone is leveraging each other to shoulder the responsibility in an industry where people are trusting us for their financial decisions. People are trusting us to help them find a place to rest their head where they spend so much of their livelihood on these assets. And so it's such an important role and such a great industry to be in. And so you guys, really, your technology does help realtors provide better service and focus on what's most important, which is our clients. So I can't thank you guys enough. And Glenda, I brought Glenda to the stage. I did want to allow a few questions. I know we're getting to the top of the hour, but I'm going to open up questions and hand raising. If anybody has questions to some of these CEOs for these systems, I want to go ahead or even to Jenny on her team building. And Jenny, if there's any other topic of expertise that you want to invite people to ask you about. And then Glenda, Glenda has an amazing business as well. But Glenda, as you've listened to stuff, if you have a thought-provoking question that you'd like to ask these system CEOs, please bring that forward. And whoever else has questions, I just open the hand raising, so feel free to come up. Amy, nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you too. I just had a quick question. I am a devout Ylopoer, love my follow-up boss. And I'm just trying to figure out, I use Raya, and I'm trying to figure out the points of difference between CallAction, Conversion Monster, and Raya, which is the Ylopo AI. I don't know who can take this question, but I can't really get to the bottom of it yet.
Sure, I can jump in on that, and I'll make it really, really simple. Raya Conversion Monster are pretending to follow up as your assistant. CallAction is pretending to be you. And so you let the customer decide who they want to respond to based on their intent. I think that's the easiest way to kind of think about it. Our campaigns are written to say, hi, this is Amy. I'm following up in reference to your inquiry. And our assistant is also going to be following up with you at the same time. The assistant is Rhea, and both of those have slightly different cadences. So that's probably the simplest way to think about it. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, so CallAction is actually, they are texting with you. You're texting, or are you emailing, or how are you communicating as who are you communicating as, or how are you communicating as?
We'll do text campaigns that can include images and GIFs, can include videos if you'd like, and we can do some ringless voicemails. So we're taking those tasks that normally you would need to do that Rhea is also doing, which is the outbound effort of trying to chase after a lead. And all that we're trying to do is get them to respond. Rhea is trying to engage them and get them to respond to Rhea so that Rhea can qualify the customer. And we're basically responding as you to try and get them to respond back to you. Either which way, everyone is just trying to get basically a conversation with that particular customer. So if you think of your task list on a day-to-day, what do you need to do? You need to call, text, and email people, right? CTE. So we're going to let follow-up boss do the email because you probably already have your campaigns in there, and they're the best of breed of doing that email campaigns based on your automations and everything else. And all that we're going to do is we're going to take the text messaging component and what would normally be outbound phone calls, and we'll drop those as ringless voicemails and text messages to try and encourage an inbound response or an inbound conversation when that customer is ready to have a conversation. Because we live in a world of disruption, the fact that it takes 10 attempts to get a hold of someone is not because they're not interested. It's just because they're continuously distracted from everything else. And so you have to do this outbound outreach through systems like Conversion Monster, who will make the outbound phone calls, or basically Rhea, which will send out some text messages, or through us that'll do a combination of both. And you're trying to get that customer's attention. So if you make an outbound call, you tend to be interrupting them. So that conversation doesn't go quite as smooth as when people are responding and creating an inbound conversation to you. They are paying 100% attention, and that conversation just goes a little bit smoother. So as Gabe and Howard and all of us have kind of been talking about, is we want to keep you in the highest dollar productivity activity, which is inbound conversations from customers who are ready to have conversations with you. The alias that is doing the follow-up is just slightly different. So again, Conversion Monster is going to introduce themselves as your assistant, try and qualify the customer, do a live transfer to you. Ray is going to do the outbound outreach and try and engage that customer, and you can jump into that conversation. And we're going to do it as you, so that you look like a rock star, that you're doing that follow-up, because consumers want to work with agents who are responsive. This has been one of the top 3 qualities that people are looking for, according to the National Association of Realtors, are agents that are responsible, agents that seem trustworthy, and agents that are knowledgeable. And so that's why it's critical for you to get into those conversations so that you can tick off those top 3 things. Our campaigns are going to make you seem responsive. When you respond to that particular person and have that conversation, that's how you build the trust. And that you do that by sharing your knowledge, by answering their questions, which is the reason why they became a lead in the first place, is because they had a question and turned to the internet to ask that question. Hopefully that helps. And I'm going to have to jump off, guys.
Yeah,
I got
thank
another
you.
call, so appreciate it.
And Howard, would you think it's overkill to have all 3, or do you think that they all work in tandem?
And really quick, before Jessie leaves, Jessie, thank you so much for all of your input. Thank you so much for being here and spending your time with us. And sorry for all the technical glitches, but thanks for holding the room down. You're awesome.
Yep, no problem. Thank you. My pleasure. And be sure to follow everyone who's on stage. Everyone here, jumps on and shares their knowledge whenever we can. So be sure to follow
And Jessie,
everyone.
are you not on Instagram because you don't have your Instagram set up?
No, I'm on Instagram, but that tends to be my my artsy fartsy place. So it's one happy guy. So if you want to jump on there, that's
Got
easy.
it.
All
Just
right.
want to make sure that people can communicate with you. And really
Yep.
quick, before I was going to ask you guys, and if you have just a second to spare, and maybe if the other guys want to, if an agent wants to, if they're like, okay, I'm tired of grinding and doing everything in a manual way, what would you guys recommend for the way that they, sign up and get set up? What's the process?
Yeah, they can just go directly to callaction.co. And also, if you have any questions, you can go directly in my profile and my inside of my Clubhouse profile. Text me,
Yeah,
whatever.
and what system? How do you guys? What system first, guys? What would you guys say? If someone wanted to, take one thing at a time, what would you guys say that they should start with and integrate? Gabe, Howard, Dan.
Yeah, I'll jump in real quick. So I think there are a couple questions. I want to kind of close the loop on Amy's question. I think she asked, "Is it overkill?" And I'm going to say no. And currently, right now we're running Conversion Monster, Ylopo, ISA, Rhea, and we are like Jenny, where we're wanting our agents to only focus on a very small number of very active. Let our technology do the rest. So I wasn't kidding. Jesse's literally on my short list of people I want to reach out to. Again, because what we could classify as our C leads, which are people we've talked to, but they are 6, 12, maybe 18 months out. It is not a good use of time for my agents. Our follow-up cadence is once a month, every 30 days, there's got to be something. I want to implement the voicemail drops at least every other month. There's some things we can do that CallAction does that's on behalf of the agent, in addition to the remarketing and REA and everything like that Ylopo is doing. So 100% not overkill. If you are listening to this and you think, okay, I do think it is, if you're not consistently getting told that you follow up too much, which let's all face it, most of us do not, you're not following up enough. You need to find that line to where you're getting that hand in your face, like back off a little bit. And then you take a very, very baby step backwards, right? So by the time you're hitting them with your drip campaigns, action plans, your follow-up boss, REA texting, the behavior text through Ylopo, and these voicemail drops and things are on behalf of you as the agent. So you look like a rock star. Until you're getting consistently told to back off, you are not doing it enough. And it's a very, very baby step back. So Amy, all three, hit the trifecta, have your agents only focused on the most active people. They're gonna be making more money, working less, and be way happier.
Cool, thank you.